Welcome back to the channel. So LSU has conducted what I would call a full reset. We saw that athletic director Scott Woodward decided to resign after pressure from the governor of Louisiana. Obviously, we know that they sent Brian Kelly packing, and now the interim head coach is Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson just isn't any old one. Frank Wilson is probably a legend around LSU. He's a very good recruiter, probably one of the best recruiters in all of the country. He bleeds purple and gold. He's very connected with the local high schools in the area in Louisiana. He has head coaching experience. He was a head coach for many years at McNeese State University in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and also the head coach of University of Texas, San Antonio. And so now, he's been on campus back again at LSU for a couple of years under Brian Kelly, coaching the running backs, but now he's the head coaching guy. He's the head coach and the interim head coach, sorry. And there's a lot of positivity, there's a lot of energy. You can sense the energy in the air around LSU. You saw that he came out and did a press conference, and he talked about rallying the troops. He kind of referenced what he saw doing Pearl Harbor. Obviously, he wasn't alive during Pearl Harbor, but he talked about how he was watching a show, or I think he was reading an article or something. But he was, he used that as a rallying cry for these LSU Tigers, who, if we're being honest, have been under siege. Right, the players, the program has been under siege. It's been a lot of negative things said about the program in the media, and so Frank Wilson used Pearl Harbor to rally the troops, if you would like to call it that. And you've seen that he said, "Hey, all former Tigers, come on, rally up." That's what we used to do in the military, right? Was rally up. Come on, y'all, welcome back. It appeared Brian Kelly kind of had closed the door, shut the door to former LSU Tigers, and you saw people like Ryan Clark, Andrew Woodward. You saw, man, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, you saw Jacob Hester. You saw Rohan Davey. You saw a few others, Shaq, right, talking to the team. You saw former Tigers, walking around doing LSU's practices and stretching evolutions. And that's a good thing. It's just saying, hey, let's band together, let's lock arms, and let's get through this thing together. And it's just motivating, right? It's just reminding the LSU players, the Tigers that's playing on this team in 2025, that you still got a lot left to play for. Right? You still got a lot left to play for. You're still in bowl position, and it's the bye week. It's a great opportunity to get better, heal up, and focus the attention on Alabama. Alabama is coming to town next week. Kickoff at 6:30, and this is a big game. Alabama is on a 7-game winning streak, and 4 of those wins have been versus ranked opponents. Right, 4 straight ranked opponents without a bye. So Alabama is on an absolute heater. And this is a great opportunity for LSU, right? I have a friend who is a really big Alabama fan, and he texted me and he said, "Hey man, I'm worried because Alabama has been going crazy with all of these ranked wins versus SEC opponents, and just winning 7 straight in general. But this LSU game is going to be a really tough game because, one, LSU is facing, but normally when you see things like this, right? Let's take UCLA, which LSU has a way better roster and have way better coaches on the team than UCLA, right? But you saw they fired their head coach, and then I think UCLA went on to win 3 straight. And so LSU has a way better team, has better coaches, and normally sometimes when coaches get fired, in the middle of the season, teams rally, right? They like to rally. And so this can shape up to be a perfect storm for LSU, but not so good for Alabama. And so this is a great time. I'm very confident in these LSU Tigers in the bye week, getting better, competing. Guys that's been banged up can get healthy. And so I think this is a win. The bye week has came, at a good time, right? Consider everything that's been happening. Now, I don't think that we're going to see a massive deviation away from what LSU has been doing all season, especially on offense. Now, Joe Sloan, got fired, and LSU's tight end coach is going to be calling the plays. But the playbook is the playbook. I'm pretty sure Frank Wilson and that offensive staff is going to come together. They're going to talk to Garrett Nussmeier. They're probably going to talk to the wide receivers, but definitely Garrett Nussmeier. They're going to say, hey, what are you comfortable with? Right? Let's take a deep dive in that playbook. And what are you comfortable with? Right? What are some of the things that you do good at practice? Some of the things that we see you do good in live games, right? Some of the concepts, right? Hopefully, we see more attempts to get the ball in the playmakers like Aaron Anderson, Trades Green, and just more attempts at running the ball, with Harlem Berry. There was some times versus A&M in that first half that Harlem Berry looked very, very good. And so you got to lean on those things, right? So I think that's what Frank Wilson and that LSU offensive coaching staff is going to do. They're going to lean on the things that Gary Nussmeier offense does well and efficiently, and you're going to see them probably come out and be super aggressive because LSU, uh, it may be hard to fathom, but LSU has one of the most talented rosters on both sides of the ball in the country. They just haven't lived up to their greatness. But a lot of head coaches in college had the same sentiments that I just said before the season that LSU was going to be a dangerous team. They spent $18 million on this roster between the offense and the defense, and so like my buddy said, he's worried. I'm pretty sure Caleb DeBoer is worried because he's like, damn, we're now caught at a fork in the road because we've been playing very well, but we're going against a team that probably has better weapons on both sides of the ball than we do. The only difference between Alabama and LSU is Alabama had one game of adversity when they lost to Florida State, right? Now, there's adversity all throughout the college football season. When I'm talking about adversity, I'm talking about losing. They lost to Florida State. We've seen the debacle that Florida State has become, and LSU has had three, punches in the face. Right, LSU has lost three games: Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and who's the third game? I'm drawing a blank. LSU has lost three games to Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. How can I forget about that Vanderbilt game? But yeah. So, but now Frank Wilson is rallying the guys, giving it's a fresh voice in these players' heads, right? We seen all of the things that they were saying about Brian Kelly and all of those things, and now you got Frank Wilson, who is a players' coach, who's in these guys' ears and telling these guys, "Hey, believe, believe, believe. We can achieve. We still got a lot to play for, right?" And so, I'm pretty sure Caleb DeBoer is he's worried because this this LSU roster is no slouch. We just gotta see if Frank Wilson can get the best out of this roster as possible. And so I think LSU is gonna beat Alabama. It's not gonna be a very pretty game, but I think LSU is gonna beat Alabama. I definitely do. LSU has all of the pieces in place on both sides of the ball to beat Alabama. They just have to play complementary football. The offense has to complement the defense by scoring and not having not turning over the ball and not having some these really quick 3-and-out drives. The defense has to play sound. They have to not give up the big play, not get destroyed in the trenches like we've seen the defensive line get done versus A&M and Vanderbilt and not necessarily Ole Miss, but LSU's defense just have to limit the big plays. Alabama has a very good wide receiver roster and room, probably one of the deepest in all of college football. And special teams just have to be better. Special teams just have to be better. They can play complementary football on all three levels. LSU is going to beat Alabama, and I'm very confident that LSU is going to beat Alabama. Now, what is the outlook for this LSU team for the rest of the season? Well, you got Alabama coming into town next week. You still got Oklahoma out there, and you still got Western Kentucky out there. And so LSU has a very winnable schedule, right? I'm sorry. We still got Alabama coming to town. You got Arkansas, and you have Western Kentucky and Oklahoma. So LSU still has a very gettable schedule, right? They definitely do. And so I think that these LSU Tigers can win out. I think they can win out. And I think that they could still make a. I know people say, well, there's no other decent bowl game besides like a playoff bowl game, but there's still a New Year's Six bowl game that LSU could possibly obtain, right? But the goal is to win out. Whether or not LSU decides to accept a bowl game, right? I think I made a episode earlier where I said that LSU shouldn't take any bowl games, even if they become bowl eligible. They shouldn't take any bowl games because any bowl game outside of a playoff game would be an embarrassment. But I'm kind of walking back that stance because um, you win out, right? You beat Alabama, you beat Oklahoma, you beat Western Kentucky, you beat Arkansas. You probably get a pretty legit bowl game. And if you beat whoever you have to play convincingly, that's going to inspire and that's going to infuse a lot of hope into the players that's on the team that's not eligible for the draft, but it is eligible for the transfer portal, right? They might believe, they might decide to stay, and it also re-energizes the fan base. That also re-energizes the recruits that have committed to this LSU team for the 2026 season. So I'm taking a positive outlook to Frank Wilson as the interim head coach for LSU. Who knows if he went out, they might decide just to give him the job. I wouldn't be against that at all. Honestly, I wouldn't be against Frank Wilson, being the head coach at LSU. I'm pretty sure that he plans to interview for the job. What better way to interview for the job than being the interim head coach at you know you know at LSU? But I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have a formal sit down with the power players that's going to be doing all of the hiring, this executive governing committee, because LSU doesn't have a president yet, nor do they have a true athletic director. So I'm pretty sure Frank Wilson's going to sit down and interview for the job. But if he beat Alabama and he wins out for the rest of the season, he's going to have a very high leg up on a lot of the other coaching candidates who is going to surely come along for this LSU team. So I'm curious to know, what do y'all think what do y'all think is going to happen now that Frank Wilson is the interim head coach at LSU? Are you guys positive? Are you guys like, I don't know, I'm neutral? Are you guys just 100% out on LSU and the rest of the season? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please hit that bell notification button and that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of the latest drops here on the channel. And again, appreciate everyone. Wouldn't have the momentum that I'm having on YouTube without y'all. And until next time, I'm out.